Hello, welcome to Serenity Vape.
Hi there.
I'm Justin,
I'm Jonathan.
and today we're going to be talking about pods and systems and pod mods.
And disposables.
And a bit of disposables. And why you would use them and why you would choose one over the other and what they're all for.
Yeah. And we'll also talk a little bit as we go about how you can switch from one to the other during like a step down program as you want to reduce your nicotine levels, should you wish to do that.
We'll start with the simple one, disposables. And here's a couple of disposables I brought out. Pink and Hyde seem to be really popular around here. I got, this one has 1,600 hits and lasts people about 3-4 days. It's great if, you just want to, first of all, I've heard a lot of people grab these because they lose their pod system all the time.
Yeah.
They put it somewhere and they lose it. Clumsy, forgetful people will just pick these up because they're simpler. If they lose them, they're not worried about it because it doesn't cost too much. I would suggest always getting a pod system over spending money on this stuff every 2 or 3 days. The other way to go is a rechargeable by Hyde, and it lasts, at least a week.
They say 3,300 puffs.
Yeah.
And it's less than $30.
Yeah. So it's like a pod system that you can throw out once
it's over with.
Once the liquid's gone. But it has a ton of liquid.
Which does mean you're stuck with that same flavor and that same unit for 3,300 puffs, but once you find what you like...
Right. The problem with this is you're talking $20, $25, depending on where you're at and where you're getting them. For $25, you can get a brand new pod system, and then, you have to buy your liquid too, but...
You have to buy the liquid and the replacement pods, but...
They're going to last you a whole lot longer. So, it's up to you, if you're forgetful and clumsy, then, maybe this is the way to go. Also, I've had people get these because they're not smokers, but when they go out and drink, they want to puff on something with their friends, and they'll get these.
I think they're great because I think they're especially great for people who are starting to quit. It's salt nic. So it's smoother, but it's 5%. That's
really high milligrams.
That's a lot of nicotine, which is really important when you're initially quitting.
And that's where we'll start getting into more of these units where you're going to use a 5% or 25%, like the SMOK, Novo, any one of them, the Novo 2X, Caliber and G is a great one. Nice feel on it. It's like it's an aluminum case to it, and
you don't want to open it up there.
It's an aluminum case, so it's quite durable. Vape House Road X-Ross, great little unit, really nice flavor to it, and what's great about this one is the top fill. You don't have to pull the pod out every time. You just click off the top and fill it. Awesome little unit. Also has airflow to it.
Airflow control.
Yeah, airflow control. Yeah. So for the same price as any one of these, they're all anywhere from $20 to $30. Really good for starting out. 50 milligram to 25 milligram juice. You start going below that, you're not going to get much out of these. Which brings us into the next one, where we're going to talk about pod mods. And what's great about this little kit is you get a pod mod, the Drag S
from VooPoo,
and a little pod unit together
for like $5 more.
For $5 more than you were going to get by the Drag S. So you could start on this little pod unit and then switch over to your pod mod and drop your nicotine levels even more. The reason why we say a pod mod you start working down is a pod mod's going to produce a much more vapor if you put the right coil in it. You can put salt nic 25 milligram into a pod mod with a high ohm coil, and it will hit like a small,
So what's the connection?
pod unit.
For the layperson, what's the connection between ohms and the amount of vapor you get?
So the lower the ohms, the more vapor you're going to get. The higher the ohms, the less vapor you're going to get. The less vapor you get is that's good because it's going to be a little bit, it's going to be lighter for higher milligrams. So you don't want to go like really high milligrams with something that produces a lot of vape, because you're saturating your lungs with a lot of the nicotine, and that can actually make you sick.
Yeah.
So a pod mod, if you can't get this kit, just getting a pod mod like the Drag S,
or even this SMOK Nord X.
Yeah, the SMOK.
The Lost Vape Thelema.
Yeah, the Aegis.
That's
boost.
the Aegis boost. Yeah.
Great pod mods. You can start with this and end with this. It's a one buy thing. All of these units. You can buy this. Start with a high milligram, low ohm coil. Vape on that when you feel like you want to go down. You can adjust the wattages on them to bring it down. Then you can adjust the nicotine to bring it down, and the coil. You go to a lower ohm coil. You can go to a lower nicotine juice. Working your way down. I mean, I'm vaping in this a 0, because I started way back in the day. I started at an 18, but I worked my way down to just carrying this unit. That's all I carry on me with a 0 in it.
So what about mods like this, or even bigger beasts?
Right. If you wanted to, you could start with a salt nic unit, or even start with a bigger beast like that.
Yeah, you may
but
not.
It might be easier to start with a pod, first of all, because of the price.
Okay.
They're much cheaper, $25-$30.
Yeah.
You go get you started with a unit, $50 altogether with juice and whatnot, give or take.
Yeah.
Some dollars. And then once you get down to 25 milligrams, you could switch to a large,
like
tanked unit, and get it in a 6, because this is going to saturate your lungs. It's even more than a pod mod.
I shall demonstrate.
Way more than my pod mod. Wow.
You got like a puff, like I can hear it,
Yeah.
Like some of these hybrid, I'm gonna call them that. These hybrid pod mods where you can put a low ohm coil in and get a lot of vapor. Like I get quite a bit out of this, but it's not necessarily as much as
Right. So something like what you're carrying here, you may put, like for you may put a 12 milligram in this, and only like a 3 in that.
Right. And
that's a nice way to step down. And then once you can, after the 12 you can move to a 6.
Yeah.
After a 6 you can move to a 3. After the 3 you can move to a 0. Or you can take a 0 and a 3 and mix them.
You go like a milligram and a half.
A milligram and a half. I did that for a little while.
Yeah,
only for a short while. Only for like a week.
You're down to a 0 and have been for a few months at least, right?
Oh yeah, it's been at least 6 months.
Yeah, like I go back and forth.
This thumb was really nice. I love the weight to this guy.
It's got like comfortable heft.
Right. I love the look of it. It's got this steampunk looking. to
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Anyways, I think that covers everything.
Yeah.
So, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.
Stay safe and vape on. And if you're quitting smoking, good luck. You know, this works.